Okay. Hello everybody, this is Chiosuke here yet again with another cast. This time it is going to be between the red Terran spawning in the top left of Prion Terraces. It is going to be Dragonborn. And spawning in the bottom right as the blue Terran, it is going to be me, Chiosuke slash Bloody Sword. Oops. Okay, so Terran versus Terran. Very dynamic matchup after they've changed everything, made the siege tank able to be picked up in that Madovec. I hear they were thinking about changing it so that when you pick up the tank it unsieges. So that'll be a very interesting change. Right now I like the matchup a lot. It's a lot faster paced than it was in Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm, and I absolutely hated tanks. Terran versus Terran was my least favorite matchup because defending is just so difficult for me. I've gotten better recently, but regardless, I'm going to be going for a Reaper Scout. Looks like my opponent is going to be going for a double gas, so probably doing something very aggressive. Also getting that reactor comes in with a scouting SCV, and I'm just fast forwarding the beginning of the game because nothing too interesting happens. I do also go for my second gas as well here, but also getting up my second CC. I don't remember this game too well. Looks like my factory is going to be coming up here as well, and it looks like I just scouted around my main base waiting for Reapers of his own. Little fun fact, I'm going to be slowing things down now, is that a Reaper will pop into your base at around 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Always good to know your timings. And if they are going for additional Reapers, they will also show up at around the same time. So if you see more than one Reaper at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, something's going up and you need to start defending. So in the meantime, I'm going to be coming up here with this Reaper, and sounds are disabled. Whoops, daisies. And going to be throwing down that grenade, not going to be connecting, and the Reaper is almost going to die, but does get out there okay. Reactor is going to be on the factory now, a little bit of a supply block for my opponent here. And going to only be able to produce one Hellion. Has another reactor right next to a starport, could be going for those Liberators, and I do see a couple of Marines poking out here. Delay them a little bit and was able to get off that grenade. Looks like a Hellion. A couple of Hellions are going to be going to my natural expansion. I do have my tech lab up, and I'm starting to pick off these Marines with this cute little Reaper micro. Hellions are going to be coming into the natural expansion. See that there's no base, and I'm like, oh, okay. If you can split up your Marines, Hellions aren't that great against Marines. So that shot was pretty good for him, and actually a couple of good shots, but now all his Hellions are really, really low. If I just hold the ramp, he really can't do too much. The Marines will get enough hits off to kill everything pretty effectively. So going to be starting a siege tank and a Viking, so going to be pretty defensive here. I do believe that I scouted that he didn't have a natural expansion yet. And here come the Hellions back, and like I was saying earlier, those Hellions can't really poke up the ramp. He does probably clean up everything, but with the reinforcing Marines and tank, he's out of units now. So Liberator is now going to be coming in, but I do have that Viking, so everything should be okay for now. Liberator going down. He still does have his natural expansion. Reaper poking up into the main base, doing a little bit of damage, and going to be falling shortly after. Couple of SCVs pulled off the line as well to probably just repair things from how it seems. Liberator is going to be coming down to the natural expansion as well as a second Liberator. And let's see what we got here. We don't have Marine or SCV production at the natural base, and wow, this Liberator gotta move the tank, gotta move the tank, gotta move the Marines, and the Liberator getting 4 kills and getting the siege tank as well. It only takes 2 hits. Very, very strong unit. Where's that Viking? Where's the Viking? Well, it's coming, but now it's kind of like out of position here. One siege tank going to be firing on these Hellions, doing a little bit of work, and almost kill off one Liberator. Okay, there we go. Killing off one Liberator. Viking should be able to kill off the second Liberator, probably, but reinforcing one comes in, starts attacking. And in the meantime, because I didn't focus fire it down, the Liberator is going to be coming into the natural expansion. Hellions are roasting all my SCVs. 7 SCVs have been killed so far. And with a Liberation Zone right on top of my natural expansion, can't really do too much, especially when it's on my ramp as well. Looks like I was going for the Banshee play with the cloak on the way as well, but Another Liberator going to be using its Freedom Zone on my Siege Tank, and that's going to be going down. Hellions going to be roasting my Marines, and at this point I have no option but to pull SCVs to kill off these Hellions, and oh my god. Absolute wreckage here. 31 SCVs. It looks like this game is pretty much over, but we do still have that Banshee at his base. Siege Tank going to be doing some work, killing off some Hellions here, but the Liberation Zone is going to be clearing that off. It's pretty much up to this Banshee to do whatever it can. Going to be picking off one SCV, the SCV building the engineering bay as well. In the meantime, there's nothing here. The engineering bay going to be cancelled by my opponent, going to be running his SCVs away, and looks like he's going to be reinforcing with Hellions. On the production tab, he does have a couple more Liberators, and I don't believe I actually see this engineering bay going down in the corner of his base as well. But in the meantime, trying to run away from these liberation zones. Looks like a lot of it was cleaned up, actually. The Siege Tank, though, needs to get out of here. Liberation Zone, get out of there, Siege Tank! One shot goes down, but not enough to kill it. And this Liberator going to be holding the ramp now. Banshee still doing a bit of work, gets 8 kills so far. And I am down, how many units do I have? I have 7 SCVs. He still doesn't, Dragonborn still doesn't have his natural expansion yet though, which is nice for me. A couple more Liberators are going to be reinforcing here, probably going to be setting up the Liberation Zone soon, after he comes back to his main base. Engineering Bay has finished, so I would imagine he's going to start getting that missile turret up as soon as he has enough minerals for it. Kind of starved at the moment since he hasn't been mining for a bit. Liberation Zone going to be coming in, and a couple of Widow Mines is super annoying here. I don't have any detection, and more SCVs gonna go down. Liberation Zone is going to be pretty much right on top of the Siege Tank, going to be killing. Whoa, did he kill off his own? Or, oh, maybe the Marines killed it off. And going to be trying to kill off these Liberators, but Marine, I'm sorry, you can't do that. These Marines were misrallied right on top of the Liberation Zone. Could have been rallied right here, but I'm bad. Producing a couple SCVs at a time, so there is a small little gap right here where I can start producing SCVs, but the Widow Mine, phew, killing off a SCV here. Viking is going to be in production for my opponent since this Banshee is still doing work. Looks like he has enough minerals to build the missile turret, but he hasn't actually started it yet. And because of it, this Banshee going to be getting even more kills. 24 kills on this Banshee, and that was pretty much all of his workers as well. So now we're down to 2 SCVs for my opponent and 3 for me. I have them all at my natural expansion. He's camping my production facilities, which is really, really annoying. Kind of hard to get anything out at the moment, and like that, the Marines just instantly get annihilated. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, just gotta move my buildings, I guess. Trying to get as many Marines up as possible, but as you can see, I'm pretty starved here. My opponent is up like a lot of supply. And the Banshee's still doing a lot of damage though into his main base. Doesn't look like he has anything there. He has a single SCV building a missile turret here, so it's probably going to be lifting and going down here to start mining. But in the meantime, I still have no units. I do have a Viking out. I was able to squeeze that out in time. And can it actually kill? It kills one Liberator. Will it be able to get the second though? That's the main question. And barely doesn't get the second one. Trying to build a second Viking as well here. And it's all really because of these SCVs down in my natural expansion. I had a lot of early gas mined gas from early on, I should say. And trying to just move the starport because these Widow Mines are so close to the starport, so like the second anything pops out of it, it's just gonna die. And I'm just trying to move my barracks around to prevent everything from just instantly dying. But man, it's hard life, man. So here's that Viking in production. Banshee still doing work in the main base of him, and he is moving the base down to over here. How many SCVs does he have? Oh, he only has the single SCV. I do now have 4 SCVs though, which is nice. And with double mule production, man, that's where it's at. The mules. So, need to keep that in mind. Widow Mine is going to be killing off the Viking that spawned, but it looks like the Viking was able to pick off the Liberator here. And Widow Mine going to be planted at his natural expansion as well. Hellions are still doing a lot of work. Oh, Hero SCV going to be picking off that Hellion. And landed Viking going to be doing a lot of work here. SCVs cannot combat this. Have a couple of Marines, so trying to sandwich it. Unable to get, so he squeezes right past. And go Marines! Go Marines! At this point, I don't believe I know how many bases he has. Because I feel like I'm so far behind, he could have like an extra base or two, or maybe 3. Especially since he was running his SCVs all over the place. So, I think I'm pretty much dead here, but in actuality, we're pretty even, which is nice. Actually, we're ahead, because we have 9 SCVs to his 3. He has 4 Widow Mines, repairing 1, and it looks like he's just repositioning some of them. And one of them's probably going to get this Marine, barely doesn't get it, but does kill an SCV. Do I have an engineering bay? I do, so maybe I can build a turret, which would help. I have 3 random Marines. Just scout. Do I actually know about this base? Oh, I know about the missile turret, so I must know that there is a base. And there goes down the wind mine. I was really lucky to pick that off. And looks like... Do I know about that? Okay, well, I don't know about the wind mine. And there goes one of my Marines, and everything else is getting extremely low in HP. So if he pulls his SCVs and just attacks, that would be terrible for us, but in the meantime, it looks like he's trying to micro. Has a couple of Hellions in my natural expansion, and I have no units back here, so this could do a lot of damage. Already getting a couple more SCV kills. Go Marines! All my SCVs are lining up for the Hellions, which is really, really bad. Marines continuing to tap away at these Hellions, and one Hellion almost, oh my god. Well, there goes any advantage that I did have, and a couple more Marines are going to be producing at a time here. And down goes the Hellions finally, but at what cost, man? 63 workers have been killed. A total of 93 this game, and let's see. Couple of Hellions are going to be coming up here as well, and I have a few Marines. I really should just probably pull back up to the top of the ramp, because Hellions are pretty good against Marines. They really need that additional time for the DPS when they're running up the ramp and stuff. Marines are going to be trying to focus down the Hellions. Get a Marine of my opponent before they go down, but oh! Marine, good unit. Kills off the Hellion, man. And one more Hellion going to be poking up the ramp. And going to be scanning, picking off the Widow Mine. Not before it fires, though. And Marine going to be going down into the natural expansion as well. Hellion's almost going to get surrounded by the SCVs. Don't see that very often. Oh, SCVs, go back to work. SCVs, back to work. Almost. Not quite. And that Marine gets roasted. Oh, my control is so bad. Oh, God. And the Hellion doesn't get another shot off. And he's just continually funneling Hellions in at this point, but I'm starting to produce quite a large amount of SCVs and Marines. And since I have 2 CCs, everything is just going to be great for me at this point, I think. So, should probably just be cleanup from this point on. It was pretty crazy at a certain point. Oh, uh-oh, Widow Mine. Uh-oh, Widow Mine. And that, oh, Jesus Christ. That did a lot of damage. And down goes the Wind Mines after a scan. Scans are super expensive, by the way, but since I'm on 2 CCs, it's not that big of a deal. A couple of Hellions are going to try and roast these units. I do have stim, apparently. And the Hellion is going to be running away here. Back to the base. The only base. He has 7 SCVs to my 24. And I'm starting to produce tanks now. Again, I was pretty scared that my opponent had like 2 or 3 more bases, because I just didn't know. I can't really afford to scout, and because of it, I'm extremely worried, and I'm just throwing units away at this point. So, probably should have just stayed at home, since I knew he was producing Hellions and waited until I had a siege tank or something, but in the meantime, I'm going to be just loading up a medevac, which I was able to squeeze out. Do I have? Oh, I do have gas income now. And I do see this Hellion force, but we have a siege tank sieged up at my natural expansion. So, go medevac! Go medevac! Have to be careful of the turret, but that should be okay. It doesn't look like the Hellions are coming in just yet, and this should be okay. But Hellions are going to be retreating in the meantime, and my opponent taps out. So, very close game. Definitely thought I lost, but with this single medevac drop and never give up, never surrender mentality, we were able to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed this cast. If you have any suggestions of topics you want to see for the stream or games of your own that you want casted, just let me know, and I will try and get to it. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you guys later.